If a man and wife raise a child, they're less likely to end up in jail, but they have the same statistical chance as children raised by just their father. Girls with no fathers in the home have lower self-esteem. No father families more likely to be victims of abuse, especially with single mothers. Children with high BMI more often come from fatherless homes. Here's something: fathers have the fittest children. That was really interesting to me. The more opportunities a child has to interact with biological father, the less likely they are to commit a crime or have contact with the juvenile justice system. Okay, another way to say that is men and women who are incarcerated, the population of the prisons mostly encompass fatherless homes.
Good day, beautiful people. How do you take guidance from the Most High? One of the ways God speaks to me is when he wakes me up early in the morning, like 3:30, 4 in the morning, and he's got a subject for me to think about or a person that he wants me to meditate upon. And so I just wake up and try to do something with those thoughts. And often I have some very insightful messages that come through those meditations. And recently I've been awakened with the thought of balancing the masculine and the feminine in my community. I've been running into a lot of people that are openly being hateful towards masculinity and pushing for these ideas like matriarchal rule and killing the patriarchy and all these things. And I see that it's actually something that they're pointing at their own community as if we are all the patriarchy, every one of us men. And I think that we should be honest that there is a dark father that rules our world, and that I'm talking about people that are not in our communities. However, those dark people are not us. And that's why we really have to separate what this patriarchy or matriarchy idea really is. A lot of people would argue that their families have been run by a matriarchy. So I guess before we keep going on with this is, what is a matriarchy and what is a patriarchy? Well, first of all, they're not inherently good or bad. Like the masculine can be dark and the light, and the feminine can be the dark and the light. So what are the traits of a patriarch? Well, to me, what a patriarch is the archetype of the father, paternal archetype. And so this is the little diagram that I drew up in the middle of the night the other week on this topic. And I went out and I spoke to some people about this, and I asked them a few questions, and I didn't really put too much weight on them about what to say because I wanted to see where people sit. And so for me, if you're using your courage and strength for pathological reasons, then that's the dark father. If you're using your assertion and confidence to things that you should not be assertive and confident for, then that's the dark father. If you're using your logic and reason to overbalance something that's based in feelings that you shouldn't be, then you're using logic and reason for bad. But other people, well, how do you be a dark mother? Well, weaponized compassion is a big thing. Like, you can use that. People that have intuition and emotion can be perseverating on their intuition, then it becomes pathological. They can be overly emotional and not be able to control their emotions. Should we really be cooperative and humble sometimes? Like, there's times when we need to be to not cooperate with people, and sometimes we need to speak about things that we're competent to speak around. And so, to me, that's a better way of understanding what a matriarch or a patriarch is. If we're trying to choose a matriarch, then we would choose the matriarch that has strong intuition and really strong connection to her emotions, but keeps those dragons upon their chain, is cooperative and humble, and is compassionate and empathetic. And what would you say if you see the good paternal leader? Well, you'd have that courage and strength to protect the community. You'd be assertive when you need to be assertive. You'd be confident when you need to be confident. You'd be logical and reasonable when you need to be logical and reasonable. So maybe we should see that who in our communities have these positive traits. Well, maybe we can look to them on how we want to act. I realize as this story has seeped into so many different communities, and it's the thing that's gonna really stop us from ever coming together as families if we can't get past our traumas that are pushing us to pathologize the masculine or the feminine. And as the world does this, the divide will get wider and wider. And so that's why I feel that I need to speak upon this stuff. When I see all the emphasis that's put on the LGBTQ movement and all that stuff is going on, I see that as stuff as a distraction from what our true issue is, and it's the division between the genders, the two genders. And when we add all these other genders and all these other fights to the story, we never get to the true issue. And so I invite people to come on with me and let's talk more about what a true benevolent mother is and benevolent father is, because I think that that's what we should be concentrating on. Is when we fix things here in our own community, it's going to spread like fire. And that's why I ask people out there, like, if you have anything to add, please put it down below. If you have other ways that you listen to God's guidance, please tell me down below. And if you have anything that you can, if you have any knowledge that you have for me that can help guide me in my mission here, please email me, it's in the description, or write a message down below, because this is really important to me, and I've been starting to do some writing and trying to get as much knowledge as I possibly can, so whatever situation I get myself into, I'll know what to say. And I appreciate all of you so much, and God bless. I love you all.